I started bringing kids to tournaments, but I said, you know, you gotta have a name, you gotta have a club. So I came up with the Kabira Nights, and my wife, who's in advertising, had an ad executive, an art director, come up with the logo.
The logo, it's beautiful.
Isn't it great? I love it. So I bought 20 t-shirts, 25, a couple for myself, and we sent the kids to the first tournament, and I had them all wearing their shirts. And I said, let them know where you're from, you know, let them know who you are. So we started doing better and better and better. And eventually they had a local tournament where you could qualify for the Kenyan Junior Championships, which that first year was held in Kisii, which is about 6 or 7 hours. So I did some fundraising, I got the kids up there. That was all from one school, my Center of Hope school. They were the most advanced. And the kids did great. A day later, I get an email, text, WhatsApp message from this guy Wilson who runs my club. He goes, if you won 5 games or more, you can go to the African National Championships. I said, great, I have 6 kids there. So I started doing fundraising. We went through all the machinations. I sent 6 of my kids to Cairo, Egypt.
Wow.
And I said to my organization, I said, I'm going. I said, there's going to be only one first time and I'm going. So my wife and I went to Cairo and we're there at the African National Championships. Now there I met Mr. Wanjala and Gilbert and a whole bunch of people, Ian King, all these people that are connected to Chess Kenya.
Yeah.
And it was great because I'm with all these people from Kenya. I mean, we brought them to the, did I send you a picture? We brought them to the pyramids. We did a boat ride on the Nile. And when I was with them, it was one of those seminal moments where I was able to speak to them and say, it's a big world out there and you can be part of it. Your life does not have to revolve around the slums. You don't have to spend your life there. You've now shown that you're capable of being part of the outside world. And I want you to remember that. I don't care how many games you win, the fact you're here means you're a winner. We got back and we had 50 people that took them there and 100 people went when they got back. And we had music and video and it was amazing. And the kids felt like, you know, they had really made it. So now everybody in Kabira is like, I want to go to Cairo. And I was like, all right, don't tell them it won't be in Cairo again. You know, just let them know. So it started expanding to all my 5 schools. I started building up the lessons. And suddenly I said, okay, the next tournament, I want 5 kids from each school. And the kids from the other schools started doing well. And every time I would travel over, I've done 4 of them, I would do an inter-club tournament where I would get 10 kids from each club and we would get 50 kids and we'd get 25 boards and clocks and we'd run tournaments and I'd give them these little competitor trophies and certificates. And it grew and grew and grew until we were going to all of these tournaments and just doing great. And what I loved about it was at one of the big tournaments, Wilson said, you know, somebody came up and they said, you know, I didn't even know kids in the slums played chess. Even though you're in the slums and you come from and you're living 8 people in a room like this and you're living on 1 or 2 meals a day, you have potential. You can be part of the world. Linking that with chess, so now the program's exploding. Gift of Chess gave us 25 sets. I have labs set up. I got them involved on chess.com. We put in chess programs. And now every free minute, kids are over there playing chess. Slowly getting better and better and better until we now have a very competent team. And at the last African Championships, I qualified 44 kids. And amazingly, it was in Nairobi because I have a limited budget, but I was able to send all 44 kids. One of my kids, Caleb, unbelievably won all 8 games. The Johannesburg trip was just as great. Kids had the great hotel rooms. You know, the whole thing has been this experience where it sent this message out that chess is a great equalizer. I call it, and you've been to Kabira, escaping Kabira to the world of 64 squares. Because when my kids are playing chess, they are not in this horrible slum area with all of the pitfalls and issues that go on to living in this kind of slum. They're right here. So I said, Juma, why don't we get the clubs together? So I had a day set up where we went over there and played, and then they came to us and played. And recently, I said, okay, they had a break. They have these long breaks. I said, okay, let's run a 2-day tournament. And we had 75 or 80 kids, 40 from each of our clubs, playing together. It was great. The visuals were great. There were just kids with chess all over. So we had trophies for the winners and certificates for everybody else. And you know, it's funny because here in the States, you know, everybody gets a trophy and it doesn't mean anything to the kids. But to these kids, that trophy means something. They go back to those little homes with 8 people in there and say, hey, look at this. Or when they win or have a certificate, you know, it builds them up and their parents love it. And we started to really develop, and I said, you know, we've got to kick this up a level. So I said, I want the 5 best kids from each school. And I contacted Juma and Robert Katende. I said, get me 25 of your best kids. And we ran an elite workshop. So we got all the kids together. What we did was, we did a lesson, and I have some strong 1,300 players of my staff members. We ran some lessons. We played chess. We mixed it up so that you played someone you've never played before. Chess notation, clocks. And then after the second time, they started to really grow and develop. And we ran 6 of these. We did them for 3 weekends, Saturday and Sunday. And I got them food and snacks, etc. So now, you know, we've got some strong players. I'm playing a bunch of them on chess.com. And I said, we're doing a tournament next weekend. And I said to Wilson, I said, I want all 5 of those kids from each school that were at that elite league, I want them there. I want to see how we do there. Because I know that if we're going to continue to qualify for these high-level tournaments, I got to like bump it up a level. But now I have 300, 400 kids playing chess. So I've got kids here, kids there, and kids there. So that's why I had to start to differentiate. And you know, I've got 3rd, 4th, 5th graders that are learning the game and moving the pieces, and I've got 6th, 7th graders that are playing and have played in tournaments. And I've got 8th graders that are really solid players. A lot of my players are now in high schools. 2 of them started chess clubs at their schools, and they're continuing to play chess. And I have them come back and work as chess coaches when they're on vacation. And the thing is that it's one thing to teach them chess. You want to build a culture around chess. And I was like, okay, you got to have a name. I go, you got to have an identity. So they're from Congoni, that's the name of their. So I go, you guys can be the Congoni Knights. And I go, you know, we're going to have them use the same symbol and change that. And then the kids feel like they're not just playing chess, they're part of something. And everywhere we go, we have to come up with a name and an identity. And suddenly, chess is the unifying factor at the school. The beauty of it is, these are not kids that are on their phone all day playing Fortnite and Candy Crush. These kids don't have phones, and for them, this is game time.
It's been a while that I've been inspired like this, and it really does take me back to the first few years, you know, where we started some 6 years ago, and the excitement behind, you know, helping the children find that sense of belonging to something. You can only come to that place of language because you have participated in a very, very, very profound way. So I want to say thank you. Like, you haven't done this from a distance.